40-year-old Montrel Burley accused of shooting and killing the rapper whose real name is Daryl Gentry. This was
Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Now, it looks like the long arm of the law is working overtime, and they found one of the suspects, or at least two of the suspects that they believe are responsible for the shooting death of rapper BTB Savage. Now, we all estimated and guesstimated that, somebody was going to be arrested because this was done so blatantly in the public. Outside of a restaurant right by his car, there were cameras everywhere. There was already news coverage featuring the cameras and showing, what took place with him driving up to the place that he was at and everything. But it looks like they actually have some suspects that are on the run. Now, one of the suspects has been put out there by name, and his mugshot is being shown right now. And it's a guy by the name of Montrel Burley. But what we're going to do is play the whole news clip and talk about all the details. But before we do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's look at this news clip from the local news there in Houston. And it talks about this guy, Montrel Burley, who they're saying is the main suspect who's currently at large for the shooting death of BTB Savage. So let's check this out.
Murder of rapper BTB Savage near the River Oaks area. 40-year-old Montrel Burley accused of shooting and killing the rapper whose real name is Daryl Gentry. This was last Thursday when Gentry was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting while he was sitting in his car. His mother tells ABC 13 that she thinks he was targeted after shooting a would-be robber at his apartment.
Now, basically, we're learning most of the stuff that we already know about this situation. That BTB Savage had done an interview with Vlad TV where he talked about a home intruder who tried to rob him, and he ended up fighting him off. His girl ended up shooting the guy in the back and several other times, and then the guy eventually lost his life, man. Sad situation for two sets of families. You had his mom speak out about this. You've had other people speak out about this, and it looks like, man, this thing is actually coming to a close quicker than we anticipated. Now, that's assuming that these are really the guys who did it, but currently it looks like these are the guys that police have their eyes on, and this is the main guy, this guy Montrel Burley. Now, the fact that he's 40 years old and BTB Savage is in his 20s, it's a weird situation. I don't know if this is a retaliation shooting or what, but it still sounds like it. Maybe this guy is connected to the guy who lost his life by the name of Omar or not. We'll see how this plays out in court, but man, right now this dude is on the run and they're looking for him.
In San Antonio. Then he bragged about it on social media. So retaliation there. Police say Burley and at least one other suspect are wanted for the killing. Murder of...
Now, hopefully you guys heard that last part. They said that one other suspect is also wanted in this case. So it does look like it was two gunmen. They haven't put the other suspect's name out there yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to come out. You know what I mean? It'll be out there before you know it. So stay tuned for that. But what we want to do is let's actually get to the story that's out there in the news that they reported, and also what the Houston Police Department has put on social media. So let's check that out. So here you see in this local news report from the ABC News there in Houston, the news report says this. It says, in Houston, Texas, days after a murdered rapper's mother confirmed to ABC 13 that her son was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in River Oaks area, police have released the name and photo of a suspect wanted in his killing. Like, man, let's be honest, man. In today's time, especially if you go to a real nice area where there's cameras everywhere, there's cameras in every bar and things like that, you're not going to get away with a murder, man. It's just not going to happen, man, in most cities, I mean, is it possible? Yeah, but it's highly unlikely today. And this just shows that because they were able to nab this guy quick, man. Now, this guy's name is Montrel Burley, 40 years old, and he's charged with murder. Off the rip, murder. And the fact that it was a drive-by and there might be some room for premeditation and stuff like that, man, he'll probably spend the rest of his life in jail if he's found guilty.
Bruh.
Yeah, this is a lose-lose for everybody, man. This is a crazy situation. And what led up to the shooting, I really want to know. Did it have anything to do with that Vlad interview? Did it have anything to do with the shooting that took place in San Antonio? We'll come to find out those details because usually somebody cracks and there's a whole nother suspect that's out there. Now it continues by saying Burley and at least one other suspect who has not been identified are both wanted in the murder of 26-year-old Daryl Gentry, who went by the name BTB Savage. Now right here you see one of the news anchors, they posted his mugshot on their individual Twitter for their company, I'm guessing, right? And it says this: wanted for murder, Montrel Burley, and at least one other suspect are accused of killing a man known as BTB Savage. So that's his mugshot right there. And they're talking about the fact that they spoke with his mother last week about the rapper being shot. You know what I mean? All this stuff happened in a relatively fast time. I believe BTB Savage was shot, on Thursday? I mean, it's been a week. Like, it's literally, and to make the timeline even shorter, the interview that he did with Vlad, that only came out a couple of days, not even, I think like 48 hours before the shooting took place. So these dudes really went on a crash mission, or they crashed out if they're guilty. You know what I mean? Everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but this ain't looking good. Plus, they got Buddy's mugshot out here, and there's a $5,000 reward for anybody who turns him in. So anybody walking the street with a cell phone can give off a tip and get $5,000. It makes it hard for you to hide, move, and shake. You know what I mean? Now it says on March 30th, Houston police responded to a drive-by shooting in the 4600 block of San Felipe at Midlane, where they found Gentry with a gunshot wound in the parking garage. He died at the scene. Witness told police 2 people sped off in a black Subaru SUV. So in a black Subaru SUV, they sped off. So once they had the make of the car, the color, that breaks it down. Then they probably ran tags. You know, it just was, this case probably made itself so quickly, man. Now it goes on to say these things. It says, Gentry's mother, Bernita Ward, said she tried to warn her son and believes violence and retaliation led to his murder. She said her son's online persona is not how she knew him. I mean, that's with most rappers. Most rappers, their online persona is not exactly who they are. You know what I mean? It's just what they're putting out there for the entertainment value and things like that. It's what they think people want to see. And from everything I saw on his Instagram and all his social media or whatnot, right? It seemed like his big image was around scamming. I didn't see a lot of guns or anything like that on his page. You know, if he was a drill rapper or something like that, you would see guns and stuff and all sorts of craziness, right? But not on his page. You mostly seen him flashing cash, flashing jewels, and that might be what led to the original robbery attempt. People might have thought he had all that money on him, all those jewels on him, and that's what led to the situation there, right? Now, it continues by saying, in quotes, I never referred to him as BTB Savage, the Instagram mogul. Ward said, I am not one of those parents to cover up your child's lifestyle. Now, basically saying that she would have him account for everything that he did. And the biggest thing he was on was scamming. I mean, that's what he put out there. Not saying scamming is a low-level thing or any good thing to do. I don't encourage that. But that seemed like the biggest thing surrounding his image. Even on his page, on like his mixtapes, you could see Bank of America and all this stuff. So it's like he was really dedicated to that image. You feel me? Now, it continues by saying to her, he was just Daryl Gentry, his legal name. According to Ward, Gentry served in the military for 4 years and was father to a 4-year-old son, which he was most proud of. Even in the interview, he talked about the fact that his son was there when the incident went down, when the shooting went down. He was actually in the room. So he was trying, that was like his biggest concern, that, you know, this dude would be, if he got the bad end of it, this guy would be walking around and his son's in there. So it puts him in a potentially dangerous situation. I don't know how anybody could see how that turned out and be mad at BTB Savage for saving his own life and saving his son, man. What kind of mess is this?
Bruh.
Now, it also says in February, Ward says her son believed he was going to be featured in a song, and she recalls him calling her excited because his rapping career was starting to kick off. It looks like he was getting a little bit of motion, man. He was happy about that. Now, instead, she says a group showed up to his apartment in San Antonio and tried to rob him. Recently, the rapper did a now viral interview with Vlad TV describing how he and his girlfriend fought off the would-be robber. Gentry talked at length about how he instructed his girlfriend to shoot the alleged intruder. In the interview, he said that he told the suspect, who was pleading for help, in quotes, I don't give an expletive, about you. You're going to die. Now, some people might call that cold, but remember, his son is in the apartment too, and his main motive is to get up out of there because there was other people who were on the outside shooting in. So this is a crazy scene. Now, when the interviewer asked if he was concerned about retaliation, he said, they might do what they do, but I'm going to get active. That's all that it is. So basically letting it be known that he felt like he was ready for whatever was coming for him. And obviously he wasn't, because eventually, he lost his life. Sad situation. Now, on the day of his death, the rapper posted on social media, standing in the middle of a bloody crime scene. Hours later, Houston police said he was shot in a drive-by shooting in the 2100 block of Mid Lane. So they're saying that he had basically posted the picture that's now viral of him standing in the crime scene where the shooting took place. And obviously somebody had tried to clean up the location and things like that. But regardless, you could see exactly what took place in that scene. Now, it also says while her son defended himself and did not deserve to die, Ward says she warned him to stop posting on social media and doing interviews. So his mom let it be known, like, hey, man, don't put that picture out there. She actually had told him to take the picture down or whatnot, and he kept it up there, man. And I guess it's since been taken down, but man, I think the damage was already done if that was the reason why he was shot and killed. You know what I mean? Now, Ward says she doesn't have any doubts that her son's death is tied to the deadly robbery. While Burley has been identified as one of the suspects, the second one is still unknown. So they're actually looking for Montrel Burley, and the other suspect, they're probably going to put his identity out there sometime soon, right? All right, so now let's look at what the Houston Police Department has put out there on their social media page. It says this: Houston Police, wanted. This is Montrel Leonard Burley, 40 years old, now charged with the murder in this fatal shooting of a man last Thursday. If you know his whereabouts, call HPD. There's a reward up to $5,000 for him, man. So I don't know, man. I don't know how far dude thinks he's going to make it or what they think is going to come from this situation. But now that this is becoming national news, it looks like this case will probably come at least to court pretty soon, or not even to court. It's not going to be closed for a while. We could just say that, this case will most likely be brought in front of a judge pretty soon, because it seems like they've got the suspects in mind and they're probably just trying to tie up loose ends and find out if anybody else was involved. There's a lot of rumors about people close to BTB Savage potentially setting him up. And if that's so, they're going to look at the cell phone stuff that they can find and everything to see if that's true. But y'all tell me what y'all think about this situation, man. Is this good news that, they were able to find a suspect and put his mugshot out there in a little less than a week? You know what I mean? Almost a whole week. And now it looks like they're going to have more people that they're actually going to bring to justice for the shooting of BTB Savage. Or do you think that it's a possibility that, man, they might be rushing so quickly that we don't even know if these are the guys or not? Now, with that, this has been your boy, Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.